Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of the viewers, all of the participants who have joined in Zoom and on YouTube. It's a beautiful day today, and I'm here in PSSM Global wanting to share something with you. My name is Parinitha Patri, and I'm from India. So I would like to share something which might be of interest to you. So this is something which is what I've learned recently, and I really thought that I need to share this with you because this is a very basic practical spirituality which is filled with common sense, presence of mind, and understanding. So I would like to talk about the science of presence and absence. I have a presentation ready for all of you. So the science of presence and absence is something which we all need to understand as a subject. So with your kind permission, let me start this beautiful presentation which I prepared just for you. So my dear friends, are you ready to learn about the science of presence and absence? And let me tell you that this particular subject has been excerpted from the book called Education as Transformation, written by Torkom Saraydarian. So this is the science of presence and absence, my dear friends. So in order to know the science of presence and absence, we need to first understand about absence. If we know when to be absent, then we'll automatically know when to be present, isn't it? So if we all need to know where to be present, where to be, where to be there, where to be, where to feel our presence, make our presence felt somewhere. But do we know where to be absent? So if we understand where to be absent, our path of understanding of where to be present will be very clear, my dear friends. So that is where I'm going into. I hope you're with me. And this is something which we all need to learn and understand and apply in our life. This is a very practical teaching, practical spirituality, my dear friends. So let's start with the science of presence and absence. So then it starts with how to help people through your absence. How can we really help people? Can we help if we are absent? How can we help when we are absent? Is what this subject is all about. And helping people through absence is a very practical teaching, as I already said, my dear friends. It promotes inspiration, upliftment, progress in all the groups, in family, in society, in the world as such, everywhere. So then, how to help people through absence is the question. How can we help through absence? Is there a way that we being not present in a situation can help? Something to think about, something to ponder about, my dear friends. So we need to be interested in our daily life, isn't it? How to behave and how to live our daily life so that we don't create any disturbances, any pollution in our environment. which brings blessings, inspiration, enthusiasm, and joy. And that is how our presence should be influencing. How can we live our daily life so that we can become prosperous, we can become creative? And to say the least, some people, if they're present in our, in our environment or in our life, their presence creates agitation, disturbances, chaos. So all we need to understand from this particular subject today is how are we as a person, how are we affecting our environment with our presence or with our absence? So we need to know where and when to be present or absent. Our presence can be a blessing, our absence can be a blessing. Our presence can be a curse, our absence can be a curse. So then what is it? How to deal with this presence and absence? Our aim is to always to bring blessings, joy, inspiration, and so on. Make things efficient and inspire the people around us in such a way that they progress on the path towards perfection. So are we helping here or not is the question. Are we actually helping or not? So some people are not sensitive enough to be absent. Even if they know that they are not welcome, they still force their energy to remain. We need to check ourselves. This is not a time for us to judge others. Oh, that person was like this person was like this. No, we are not here to judge others. We are here to check ourselves. Are we one of those people who are not sensitive? Are we one of those people who want to be present in every group, everything, everywhere, even though we are not welcome there? Yes or no? Are we sensitive enough to understand where to be present and where not to be present? Where we are welcome and where we are not welcome? Do we force our presence or withdraw ourselves where we are not welcome? That requires some sensitivity, my dear friends. So are we sensitive enough is the question. And then there's an example where I can quote. There was a very big company or a group or something that you might call. And there was this 95-year-old woman who was not capable of taking care of the group or who was not leading the group in a progressive way. She was very dominating and she was unable to promote new thinking, new ideas, new visions, or something like that in the group. So then in this situation, what is that lady supposed to do? And she was respected. And that's why she just remained in her position with all her crystallizations. So then if you were the 95-year-old woman, then what should you be doing? What are you supposed to do? If you're unable to work in a progressive way, if you're unable to take the organization or a group in a progressive way, it is very wise in such a case for the person to withdraw so that others can take his or her place, isn't it? So that they can take the group in a progressive way, in an uplifted manner. And one of the greatest obstacles in the world is to know that you are not worthy of leadership, but you force yourself to stay where you are and block progress. And Jesus Christ said, for such instances, that they stand at the door and neither enter nor allow others to enter. All we need to check here is, are we one of them? Yes or no? Think practically. Think very, very, very in a very grounded way. Who are you? What are you doing? Are you being that person or no? And then, practically speaking, the science of being absent has two aspects. One is negative and the other is positive. You don't have to term it as negative or positive, but two different situations where absence can be helpful. Your absence can be helpful. So as I already said, if you know when to be absent, you will know when to be present. And how can we apply this science practically, my dear friends? So let us say that there are 5 aspects where we need to be absent. Okay. The best example that I can give is about Corona. And you know that when Corona hits you, when the virus hits you, when the virus is in your body, what do? You go and isolate yourself, isn't it? Isolation is the best way to deal with the virus in our body. If you give it time, whether it be 7 days, 14 days, I don't know. When you give that time for your body to isolate itself, then you let the virus die because it does not come into contact with anyone else. You treat yourself. You go and isolate yourself in a room until you get the report as negative. You get your RT-PCR done, it says positive. You have virus inside you. You go and isolate yourself until you get the same report, RT-PCR report, as negative. So it is the same way that we are going to deal with this. There are 5 different situations wherein you might have to withdraw yourself. So the first situation or point over here is that whenever you feel ugly, do not persist in staying in the place that you are. Whenever you feel ugly, my dear friends, and the right thing to do is to leave, because your ugliness will pollute other people. If you can see in the picture, that girl has full of ugliness in her. She sees things as very ugly. So then how would you feel in the presence of such a person? She might contaminate you with the same ugliness, and you will contaminate others with the ugliness that you have taken from that person. And through your thoughts and emotions, you may create agitation in people, preventing them from being beautiful. If I have an ugly attitude, if I have ugly thinking, if I have ugly intentions, if I have ugly speech, you can't be beautiful. And the purpose of life, one of the purposes of life, is to become beautiful inside out. And being an example of ugliness makes other people ugly or creates conflict or disturbances in them. So then if I am filled with ugliness, I need to withdraw myself. I need to know that I am ugly. Firstly, I need to know, understand, accept that I am in ugliness, that I am unable to see beauty everywhere. So then what do? I withdraw myself from that situation. I do not make my presence felt or force on anything or anyone. So we need honesty and nobility on the path of discipleship, my dear friends. You need to really, really, really be able to see what is happening in you, and try to be absent until you have cleaned that ugliness which exists within you. For example, if you're drunk and there are 7 children waiting for you at home, do not go home in that condition. Be absent so that you do not make a bad example of yourself for your children. Children, as we all know, are very sacred and pure. And the parents should not show their ugly side to their children so that they become bad example for them when they grow up. So what do? We withdraw ourselves. And if you are part of a committee and you have become ugly, do not retain your position on the committee. We do not need an ugly leader, a leader who has an ugly attitude. Isn't it? So take a leave of absence so that you do not pollute the committee. You do not contaminate the committee. It is our duty that if you are not able to do your job perfectly, beautifully and joyfully, we need to quit. Just leave, just withdraw yourself. Whenever you feel ugliness in you, honestly, really looking at yourself, then we need to quit. And by quitting, by withdrawing ourselves from that position, we help a lot of people, isn't it? Isn't that so, my dear friends? If you find really that if you are being ugly or not, if you are being beautiful or not. If you are being beautiful, then you will spread beauty. If you are full of ugliness, then you will spread ugliness. So in which case do you have to be present, and when do you have to withdraw? Is that what you have to understand? And the second situation here is that if you feel that you are full of ill will, be absent. When we sit together with our friends, with family members, or in the classrooms of our schools, our auras are fused together and our ill will poisons the other people if it contacts. If we have ill will, we generally gather together in groups or as family or anywhere. If we have ill will in our mind and in our heart, our auras change, isn't it? We all know about auras, and I will take a special class on auras also, my dear friends, coming in the future. What is aura? And about all the dynamics of the aura. So when our auras are filled with ill will, then we will definitely influence the other person sitting next to us with that ill will aura. And therefore, the entire group will be fused with it. So there was a big church in Jerusalem, my dear friends, which seemed so empty, yet there were 500 people present. But when the patriarch came forth to give his speech, the whole church was suddenly filled with his presence. So that is how our presence or absence can make a lot of difference. And your presence is either a blessing or a curse. You must be sensitive to your real existence and ask yourself, how is my existence affecting people? This is one question which we need to ask ourselves. Am I helping them progress, clean their crystallizations, glamours, illusions, and habits? Or is my presence a hotbed of germs? This is something which we need to ask ourselves honestly and living in complete reality, my dear friends. How is my existence affecting people? Am I helping them or am I contaminating them? If I'm contaminating, then I can help them by removing myself from that situation. That way we can help a lot of people. And when we clean ourselves, when we are completely out of the isolation, when the virus is out of us, then we can come and join everyone, isn't it? We can shake hands, we can hug each other, we can be with each other, we can eat with each other, isn't it? Corona has taught us so many things. Corona has taught us so many things, but what exactly have we learned from it is again different for different persons. So esoteric schools and groups must become very sensitive to what they are doing, because the intention is to be a model of beauty. And sometimes people think that they are doing you a favor if they come to your group, join your committee, or visit your home. Isn't that a very ugly attitude? They're doing a favor by coming to your session, or coming to your group, or join your committee, or even visit your home. We must not be present or absent to favor people, but to bring others our blessings through our influence, through our joy and higher consciousness, isn't it, my dear friends? Never feel that you're actually doing a favor to someone else. Whatever you're doing is for your own self. Everything that you're doing is for your own self. What you learn, what you don't learn, how you take everything is all about you. It's nothing about others. And you're not doing any favors to anyone, my dear friends. If ever we think that we are doing any favor to someone, that's ugly. And if 5 or 6 people in a group are in contact with their higher consciousness, the group's aura will change. We really need to understand, if we are in a group, it can be a family, it can be any kind of group. And if people who are polluted with hatred, crime, destructive ill will, and so on, attend the meetings of the group, they will pollute the group aura. So it's like, if we have one glass of water, pure water, and if you put one drop of ink over there, the whole water will become blue, isn't it? It's just common sense. So we need to be fused with our higher consciousness. If you want your group to be filled with beautiful aura. And let's come to the third point. If you are being unrighteous, do not remain in your position. We must be very, very righteous. In whatever job that we are doing, whatever post that we have been given, whatever responsibility that we have been given, we need to be very, very, very righteous. If you feel that you are being unrighteous, take a leave of absence. What does unrighteousness mean? That this computer that we have, this mind that you have has come to repair. There's something wrong with your mind. Patriji always used to say, if we did something wrong, if we did something which is, which just doesn't make any sense, he says, something is wrong with your mind. And it's out of order. And any unrighteous thought is the result of disturbances in your computer. So then what do you do if any gadget or if any electronic item comes to repair? What do? You take them to the repair shop. You let that gadget be there in the repair shop with the person who is repairing it. And once it is all good, you can take it home. And you can use it appropriately. Isn't it? Unrighteous judgments, unrighteous attitudes are signs that your computer is not working properly. In such a case, do not stay where you are. Do something right. If you're being righteous, you can stay. But if you are being unrighteous, the best way to help everyone is to take a leave of absence. Withdraw yourself. There's nothing wrong in withdrawing yourself. No one is perfect. Corona hits you, isn't it? And what do you do when corona hits you? You go into isolation. What do you mean by isolation? You repair yourself. That's all. In such a case, definitely do not stay where you are. Take a leave of absence and go to the repair shop. When your computer is repaired, return and say, I am healthy now. I'm healthy, so I can stay. I can be useful. I can be productive. And let's come to the fourth point. Fourth situation where you need to be absent so that you can help others. If you're mentally disturbed or depressed, remove yourself from that position. And the question arises, what about the people who are mentally ill? Don't they need our presence to help them? Certainly they need your help, but what they really need is to go to the hospital, isn't it? If you have 10 horses, okay, the draw carriage and one horse becomes sick. What do? Because the carriage cannot move now. You need a team of healthy horses to get where you are going. So in your team, are all the horses healthy? Are you being healthy? A team can be a family, a group, it can be an organization, anything whatsoever. We are not talking about average activities, but about spiritual groups. In average activities, people think that the most important issue is to stay and force their own will. Has that been true to you, to your family, to your group? Do people force their will and stay, no matter how ugly they are? In spiritual groups, it is important to be present. It is important not to be present, my dear friends, if you are depressed. When you're depressed, do not sit down at the table and eat with your children. Do not visit your boyfriend or girlfriend if you're depressed. Do not carry your germs to them, to the group or to your family environment. Your first responsibility is to pull yourself out, heal yourself, and then return to their company. If you practice this science, your families will become beautiful. Your friendships will become beautiful. Your group will become beautiful. What will I do if I'm mentally depressed or mentally disturbed? I am very irritated. I am very frustrated at things. I become very narrow-minded. And if I come into contact with other persons, then what do? I carry my germs into everybody and I make everyone else also irritated, anxious, frustrated, narrow-minded. Am I helping them or uplifting them or inspiring them? That's the question. If I'm not able to help them, then go away. If you are helping a situation, if you are helping something, or if you are helping someone, you can stay. Otherwise, let the virus go away. That's the best thing to do. And to let the virus go away, we need to repair ourselves completely. So then there was a Thanksgiving dinner with a very, very unhappy family. The husband and wife sat opposite to each other and looked very meanly at each other during the whole meal because they were having a fight. And every moment they made scathing remarks to hurt one another. The children were depressed. Finally, the guest could not stay any longer. He said, "Please forgive me, but I must leave." Then the couple said, No, this is Thanksgiving. And the guest said, "This is not Thanksgiving, it is depression. How can I enjoy this dinner? You go ahead and eat it. It will turn to poison in your stomach because you're not happy." Such a beautiful example, my dear friends. And if you're visiting your girlfriend or boyfriend when you're depressed, what is he or she going to do with you? When we are depressed, we must be especially careful not to contaminate others. But then what do we do when we are in depression? We make it a party and we spread that depression to everyone. Oh, I'm so depressed. Oh, I am so this. You want, sometimes, depressed people want some attention, want some pity on them. And they pull everyone into the depression. So what do we have to do when we are depressed or disturbed mentally? We need to withdraw ourselves. A lady once said, "What can I do? I'm so depressed, I feel like dying. I want to commit suicide. My husband is depressed day and night, and he does not smile or talk. He just sits there. That's it." And Torkom Saraydarian advised her to seek professional help because his depression was affecting her so much that they were both depressed now. Do not pollute your family or group with your depression. Take a leave of absence. Go to the mountains or to a lake and swim. Go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist and heal yourself. Somebody once said to Torkom, "I have read the Bible 5 times. He said, "Who cares how many times you have read the Bible? Can you cooperate with your family? That is the real Bible." So take a leave of absence, my dear friends. Go to the mountains. Go to nature. Go to forest. Go to a lake. Refresh yourself. Rejuvenate yourself. Heal yourself. And then come back. Or as it's being said here, you can go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And we come to the fifth situation wherein we need to withdraw ourselves, how our absence can help people. So when you're enslaved in habits, be careful to be absent sometimes. A best example over here can be that 5 children in a family once came to talk to Torkom because they said, "Our mommy says you're a wise man." "Okay," he said to them. "What is your demand?" "Our daddy sits in the house and smokes cigars for 5 hours every evening and our lungs are aching. Can you please talk to our daddy?" And Torkom's advice to their father was to take a leave of absence, to go and clean himself and then come back so that he does not pollute his children. He asked the father to solve his problem, because only if he can solve his problem can he help his family. Being there in the situation, even though when we're having a problem, does not help anyone, isn't it? If we have a problem, solve it, get it repaired, and then come back. And that's how you help people. And here we can say that sensitivity requires from you that you're sensitive to whether or not you're increasing the joy, progress, and health of other people or damaging them. If you're damaging them, do not continue. Take a leave of absence. Go to the repair shop. Go to nature. Go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, I don't know. However, get rid of all the virus and come back. You can come back. And then sometimes, we get colds, we get coughs, we get the flus. And Torkom had secretaries who come to the office with bad colds, with running noses and coughing every moment. And he says, "Don't come to my office. What is the matter with you?" And they said, "What is the matter with you?" And then he said, "The matter with me is that I don't want to catch your cold because I'm lecturing. Please take a leave of absence until you're well. What do you do when you're not feeling well? You take rest. You don't affect anyone else with your cold. Just like when you stay at home, take rest when you have cold. In the same way, we need to help others when our computer has come to repair. Taking a leave of absence is very practical in such cases. And if you have a house full of children, a husband or a wife, grandparents and other relatives, and if you catch cold or another contagious disease, take a leave of absence. Do not use the same bathroom. This is only common sense. It's only common sense, my dear friends. Isn't it? So if you are inefficient in your duties and responsibilities, do not insist upon staying in your position. How efficient are you in fulfilling your responsibilities? Take off if you cannot do the job. Take off. And Torkom was involved in churches and groups where a committee is formed that cannot do its job. And if I say resign, dear, then committee members will say, no, you selected us. Why should we resign when you selected us, when you believed in us? But they might have been selected, but they cannot do the job now. In such an instance, the committee member should give the resignations voluntarily, because I know if I can do the job or not. If I know that I cannot do the job, I should resign voluntarily. No one should tell me to resign, isn't it? No one should tell me to withdraw. If you cannot build a wall, what kind of a mason are you? Resign. Be absent so that more efficient people and skilled people can come and do the work properly. Why do we have to be so adamant to stay in the position even though we are not efficient? As long as you stand in the doorway, others will not be able to enter. So are you helping or are you damaging with your presence? That is the question here. So if you cannot do the job, take a leave of absence. If you cannot lecture, do not force yourself. If you cannot write, do not show off as if you were a great author. We need to have a sense of reality so that we don't force our ugliness or inefficiency on other people. And when you become sensitive, your human relationships, your relationship with yourself will become so beautiful. You will say, honey, you know that I'm not able to do these things. Let someone else take my place and do it properly. How often do we say this? Or does our ego, does our pride, or does our overconfidence take charge? If you're a cause of many disturbances, see that you're disturbing people and do not stay. Disturbance is not a creative result of your presence. Take your presence away so that other people can do a better job, isn't it? The whole concept is that how are we helping others? How are we helping others? Is it with our presence or is it with our absence? So now we come to the second aspect. Let us look at the positive aspects. Now that we have understood when to be absent so that we can help people, now let us understand another way of how our absence helps others. There is a unique technique referred to as positive absence. If you have a friend in a far-off country that needs your help and cannot be there, you can help him or her in your absence by sending blessings, prayers, good wishes, light, energy. You're absent, but through your absence, you can heal him or her and you do not demand any recognition. Only when you are present, you demand recognition. You can say that, oh, I have taken care of her or him, and that is why that person has become well. You can take the credit. But in your absence, when you help them, you don't have to take any credit. And from this, your power comes. You can perform absence healing and absence enlightenment. And when I say healing, my dear friends, it is not interfering in others' karma, but you just send good energies, good blessings, good wishes. You're sending something good to them, and that is how it can help him heal himself. There are many people who cannot attend group meetings, but they write to him and ask, did you feel our presence? In spite of their absence, they were present. How is it possible? How is it possible? And through your absence, you can bless people every day. There are people in hospitals and asylums, people going through very difficult conditions. And through your absence, but with continuous practical thoughts, feelings, and blessings, you can help revive them, heal them, uplift them. You do not have to be present all the time. Sometimes your presence is not welcome, my dear friends. Even though your presence is not welcome, you can do it in your absence. Isn't that such a wonderful thing to know and understand? And there was a man who divorced his wife, leaving her with their 7 children. The wife was so naive, so antagonistic toward the man that he eventually decided not to visit the children any longer. He came to Torkom's office crying, I love my children. What can I do? I'm no longer present in their lives. And Torkom explained to him how he could help them with his absence. Such a wonderful technique. Every night before you go to sleep, visualize your children. Hug each of them and give them, each one of them, a kiss. Bless them. Send them beauty, goodness, righteousness, joy, and freedom, and tell them, good night, children. I love you. Then visualize your wife. Even though I know the two of you hate one another, say to her, for the sake of children, let us talk together, at least on abstract levels. At least on abstract levels. Because you know that your presence is not welcome there. And then, what did he do? The man took his advice and reported the results. His wife and children changed. He eventually returned to his family and there was such a joyful reunion. His wife once remarked, I don't know what happened. Something happened in heaven and my whole family changed. Oh, wow. That was miraculous, wasn't it? It was not a change occurring in heaven, but in the consciousness of her husband. Change your consciousness and you'll change a lot of things because of your absence. Just change your consciousness. Because your presence in such a situation will not help. And if you really impose your presence, everyone will become angry and the children will be upset. You'll create disturbances and hatred once again. So then what to do in such a situation? Absence is a very psychological and a useful tool. With your absence, you can teach people. And some people think that this kind of thing is hallucination, but it is not. In practicing such visualization, before going to sleep, the moment you fall asleep, your souls meet, and whatever you visualized or programmed in your mind, you say to them, it will be conveyed to them. They will slowly accept it. Their souls will be impressed with the conversations you have with them. They will think that their new impressions are coming from inside themselves. And they say, my goodness, I really must change because a new inspiration came to me. Of course, this new inspiration came to them because their teacher, their friend, their mother, their co-worker, their somebody thought about them and sent them special messages to enlighten, uplift, and transform them. I need to give a disclaimer over here by saying that we need to use this visualization technique only to enlighten, uplift, and transform them, and not otherwise. If we do this, if we do it in any other way, then it will have adverse reactions. You will have adverse situations that you might have to face. You will face crisis in your lives because you used it otherwise. You need to use it only to enlighten, uplift, and transform them for the better, not for the worse. And you can do the same thing in friendship. For example, suppose that you are angry with a member of your family or a friend. You've had an argument to discuss the issue. At this point, instead of talking about the problem any further, take a leave of absence. How long can you keep arguing with the same person on the same topic? How do you do that? You have said everything. You have done everything. Now it is a time for absence. Absence sometimes means to finish a particular layer of activity and proceed to a higher level. You have done what you have to do in the physical aspect by being present, by explaining yourself, by arguing about everything, by fighting about everything, but it is not working. So what to do now? Go to a higher level. Now you're acting very strongly at this higher level, but without speech. Instead of physical speech, you're using thought speech, intuitive speech, and will speech. Isn't that so wonderful to know? It is so enlightening, so freeing that you can actually work things out on an abstract level, on a higher plane. We can work things out miraculously. Miraculously, we can work things out. So please bear this in mind that there is an intuitive speech, there is a will speech, and there's a thought speech. Please bear this in mind and use them appropriately. So to do this kind of work, we need to be very, very honest, clear, and sincere. You fight with a friend and you are half wrong and she is half wrong. What do? In your subjective relationship, on a higher level, on a higher plane, you can say, you know what, let's sit down under the tree and talk. Let's be honest with each other. Tell her whatever mistakes you did. Allow her to tell you whatever mistakes that she did. And then say, well, what can we do to solve this now? Let's dissolve these things and be friends on a greater, higher plane. So what happens is, if you want to fill a glass with water, you need to pour from just above. And then slowly the bottom gets filled up. Then slowly the brim fills up and everything fills up. You need to pour it from above. And if you practice this kind of visualization for 4 days, by the 5th day, everything will be dissolved from the source. And when I say, when it's being said here that it's in 4 days or 5 days, it's in a very metaphorical way. It can take days, it can take months. Depends from situation to situation, from person to person, my dear friends. And we give so much power to our hands and voice, but real power is in sincere thoughts. Thoughts are very, very, very powerful, my dear friends. And let's use them wisely, appropriately, economically, to help uplift everyone, to help enlighten everyone, to teach everyone, to really, really, really assist everyone to enlighten themselves, to heal themselves, to energize everyone. Sincere thoughts, my dear friends. Such lovely, sincere thoughts. We can help so many people by being absent. And you don't even have to take the credit for everything. There's no need to take credit. You know what? I sent my sincere thoughts. That is not being sincere. You just send sincere thoughts and you keep quiet. If that person is being uplifted, wow, you can just say wow and keep quiet. So there was an instance when someone was dying in the hospital, okay? And every day by a group of people, she recovered miraculously. What the group did was to bless her in their visualizations. And in their absence, they held her in the light of God and inspired joy. The doctor's own statement was, she has been miraculously cured. And this is what can be done through our absence. If our presence is not helping, then we need to help with our absence. You might have heard some of these instances happening. Doctors saying, wow, she has been cured miraculously. How did that happen? It can be because of their own karma. It can be because someone else sent their good wishes and blessings. It can be anything. It can be her own doing. There are many reasons that a person can be healed miraculously. Sometimes the most powerful person works in absence. Please get this into your mind. Sometimes the most powerful person works in absence. It's not the person, not always the person who forces his will on others or forces his presence on others and is being visible every time and all the time. No. Sometimes the most powerful person works in absence. You can help those who have problems in your absence. If they have political problems, social problems, economic problems, you can help them on higher levels. They cannot give the right advice or come up with good solutions. But when they imagine that they want to help and then sleep, so much wisdom and insight is revealed to them in their sleep that they come up with practical solutions. They awaken and say, somebody came to my dream and told me to do this. And when I did this, everything was resolved. You can do these things in your absence, my dear friends. You can show them the path. You don't have to know the solution. You just have to have the intention to help them in your absence. That is all. Your intention, your thoughts of helping the other person is enough. Sometimes you don't know how to help them. You just send them good wishes, good energies, blessings. That is all you need. And if you do these things in your absence, eventually, let me frame this word, frame this sentence. The great ones will register you in the band of workers called invisible helpers. Let me underline this statement. Let me frame this statement for you. The great ones will register you in the band of workers called invisible helpers. And invisible helpers do not put cosmetics on wounds. They perform intricate surgery. They make you realize your stupidities and faults and then clean them. And in the real life of esotericism, there are no cosmetics or artificiality. Here in the physical world, reality, if you have a pigmentation or if you have acne, if you have pimples, oh, you can become so beautiful by putting a makeup on. But how can you do it on higher levels? You are as you are. As simple as that. And if you do something obnoxious, the teacher must not say, "Honey bunny, I love you so much." This is a crime. The teacher must make you realize that you have a serious problem or are doing something obnoxious, and then explain that there's a way to solve the problems if you promise not to fall into them again. If you promise, let me repeat that. If you promise not to fall into them again. I repeat, if you promise that you will not fall into them again. When Christ was healing the murderer, he said, "I also do not condemn you, but go and sin no more. Do not repeat your sins, because if you do, the blessings, the cure that came to you will not work or may turn back with many crises." Please read this particular thing again and again, my dear friends. This is what is going to help us in the future, in our practical life. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. This is very, very important teaching. When Christ was healing the murderer, he said, "I also do not condemn you, but go and sin no more. Do not repeat your sins, because if you do, the blessings, the cure that came to you will not work or may turn back with many crises." So many people here hurt someone, murder someone, do something to someone, and they go to the temple and say, "Worship, I'm sorry I did this, I'm sorry I did this." And they go back and do the same things. What is the use? It is important to understand the science of absence and apply it to practical life. It will give you so much happiness and health because you destroy the tensions and pressures, and in the meantime, create harmony and release. And when there's harmony, release, and peace within yourself, you are in greater tune with universal energies. Because you work on higher levels, not on lower levels. You work on higher levels. And Torkom received a card from a young couple saying, "We married in Colorado and we are so happy. Remember the girl that I fell in love with the first time and I saw her and she fell in love with me? Well, we are married and doing great." 6 months later, they write to me again. "And then we have a problem which we cannot solve. Can you help us?" Torkom did not know how to help them because he was not a marriage counselor. Sometimes you also make mistakes. So he decided to pray for them. And every night for 6 days, he saw them in his imagination and asked them what the matter was. He would talk, then she would talk. Then in my imagination, I told them to talk with each other. Then 10 days later, they wrote to say that they had fallen in love again. What was taking place was not hallucination. It was taking their spirit to the intuitional light and letting them see each other in that light. It's uplifting, it's enlightening, it's healing, it's intuitional light. If you cannot see each other in the darkness, you take them to the intuitional light. And in that light, they will really see each other. You can do these things because one of the works of a disciple is to create unity and cooperation, cleansing and purifying all the dirt that causes separation. So the question is, are we a disciple or not? Are we spirituality's disciple or not? We need not be someone's disciple. We can just be a disciple of spirituality, of life, of learning. So are we being a disciple or not? Are we helping bring unity and cooperation? Are we cleansing ourselves and purifying ourselves? Are we clearing the dirt of separation in myself and others? That is what the question is. When I ask you this question, then everyone will say, yes, I am a disciple. But then in reality, in practical situation, are you a disciple? Every second, every hour, every moment of the day, are you being a disciple? I can't say, oh, sometimes I do it, but still I'm a disciple. No, it doesn't work that way. Either you're here or there. You can't be in between. So you must be present in a place, in a committee, in a group, only if you're bringing help or a service. And you must be absent if you're a hindrance or if people reject your presence. Isn't that right? Do you agree with this? Is our presence helping or not? Or is our absence going to help them? Is what we need to understand for ourselves, not for others. We are not here to judge others. Oh, that person is not fit. No, it is all about we being fit or not in that particular situation. And people often force their presence on others, creating many unpleasant situations or attitudes. Your presence bring inspiration, should bring inspiration, progress, improvement, joy, and enthusiasm. So are you bringing these things to your committee, to your group, to your family, to your friendship, to everything? Are you? Yes or no? That is a major responsibility of a disciple. And if you feel that you're no longer needed in a place, take leave. Just go away. And of course, if you sincerely and honestly feel that your absence will cause great damage in spite of the rejection that you feel, you must find ways to convince the other people that your presence is needed. Let me repeat this. If you sincerely and honestly feel that your absence will create great damage, even though other people are rejecting you, even though those people do not want you, and if you feel that your absence is going to create great damage, then help. Then try to convince them. Explain to them that why I should not leave, because if I leave, so many bad things will happen. Self-observation and honesty will help you see whether you must depart or stay. If you cannot do the job, if there is someone who can do the job better, leave it. If you really want to do something, learn it and then do it. For example, if I do not know how to take a class, learn the art of teaching. Come and take a class. If I do not know how to repair a computer, go and sit with a person who knows how to repair a computer and then come and repair the computer. Do not damage it more. If I don't know how to paint a wall, be an apprentice. Take an internship with a person who can paint well. Learn the skill. Then come and paint the wall. Do not destroy the wall just because you think that you know something. But in reality, you do not. A general, despite knowing that he could not handle a particular situation, remained on duty in vanity and destroyed thousands of human lives. A totalitarian attitude forces itself. And those who are totalitarians remain in their positions, even if their presence destroys all that they stand for. So are we being the totalitarian or not? Yes or no, or on the way? Something you need to know about yourself. This is all about knowing yourself. How are you being in your life? Are you helping or not? So some people psychologically smell like corpses because of their anger, irritation, depression, arrogance, jealousy, and so on. The greatest service to people that these people can perform is to try to find ways to heal themselves instead of contaminating others. If I have hatred in me, then I will join everyone in my club of hatred. If I gossip a lot, then I will join everyone in my club of gossip. If I'm jealous of someone, then I will make everyone join my club. Oh, come, let's make a club of jealousy. Let's hate one another. That's a very easier way to attract people into your own club. The jealousy club, the irritation club, the depression club, the anger club, the hatred club. People sometimes feel that they must withdraw and be absent from certain activities, but their vanity, ego, self-interest, and pride prevent them from following their hearts. I know that I have to withdraw from my position, but my vanity, my ego, my self-interest, and my pride prevent me from following my heart. So these are the obstacles in following your heart, my dear friends. In knowing that my presence is not going to help them. Only my absence is going to help them. But still, what's stopping me? My ego, my pride, my self-interest, and my vanity is stopping me. So let's deal with all these things first. Let's deal with all these things first. See, if we want to go in a path, we need to see what kind of obstacles are there on the path. And once we remove all the obstacles, it is an easy path for us. So this is the last slide of the presentation, my dear friends. Every kind of progressive move is based on those individuals. There are 3 points. These 3 points are the takeaways from this presentation, from this subject. Okay. We need to meet the requirement of the job. Second one is, we do not burden others with our failures. And C, withdraws if they see that they are hindering progress. One is a courageous, honest, and daring person if he can follow the above 3 steps. Firstly, we need to see if we suit the job profile, we suit the responsibility list. Second one, we do not burden with our failures. The third is we withdraw if we see that we are hindering progress. Are you daring enough? Are you honest enough? Are you courageous enough to follow all these 3 above steps? That is what we need to do and understand. And when we think that, when we think about the point B, saying that we do not burden others with our failures, what does it actually mean? For example, if someone has been drinking or someone has a bad habit, okay, he has failed to overcome his bad habits. That's a small kind of a failure. But then he, being a failure, should not burden others with their failures. For example, that person drinks and that person is affecting other people in their family, in his friends group, in his group, by his drinking habit. So his failure of overcoming that habit has affected his family members in an adverse way. So we should not burden others with our failures. If we have failed at something in our life, we try to burden others with that. Let us not burden others with our failures. If you are a failure, let us deal with it. Let me take the responsibility of my failure and become a successful person. Or do something else so that I can be successful in that particular part. So, my dear friends, that is the presentation for today. And I hope it has helped you in some or the other way. And this is the science of presence and absence. If you know when to be absent and how you can help others with your absence, then you will definitely know when to be present. So thank you, my dear friends, for being with me over here. And if you have any questions or if you have anything to say, please feel free and you can unmute yourself. You can raise your hands. So I'm not getting any raised hands, so I don't believe that there are any questions. Yes, Shanu. Yes. Hi.
Hi. I just want to thank you so much for such a beautiful, beautiful topic. I think we always thought that, you have to be present in order to do, to help or to do something. And this is the first time I'm hearing, how you can be present even when you are absent. So this is so beautiful. So beautiful. I just want to thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shanu. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that it has helped you and opened new ways for you to help others and help yourself. So that is really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you. I know, like my mom or my, our elders, they are always praying for us, even though they are far. I think so. They are doing that in their absence, but we never thought about it. I mean, okay, they're praying, right? The way you conveyed your message today, it has really impacted me, and I think it's just so beautiful to be present while you're absent. So I think thank you so much.
Yes. That is definitely something which we can think about. This is what happens also. So that's something. It's good to know something that we do not know, how things work out. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you so much. Yes, Pallavi. Okay.
Hello, Parinitha Di.
Hello.
Very nice session. I just wanted to check, like, as you said in the last slide, that if you are thinking that, you are not, I mean, you are thinking that you are capable of, for that job, but if you can hinder or, with your failure. But when we take the challenge or, we be courageous, that time only we take challenge and explore that whether we will be failure or not. So it is not that, you beforehand you can predict that it will be a failure or not. If suppose I am taking a challenge in, a new era, I'm, or the new things I'm trying, going to try on my job, or before getting the job, that I am thinking that I am capable enough to get this job, and it is new thing, but I know that I can do it. Even if I don't have experience, I can do it. So in that case, what you will suggest?
So the first thing is that you don't predict that you will become a failure. Definitely not.
Yes.
I will definitely set out saying that, yes, I want to be successful in this. I want to do this. But if you want to do a new job, firstly, you need to understand what kind of a job that you're applying to. Do you have the skills? Do you have the talents? Do you have what it needs to be to become a success in that particular job? So what you do, you go back and train yourself, or get that skills, get that talent, get that kind of insight into what you're going to get into. So then you need to go prepared into what you are going to step into, so that you know what kind of challenges that can appear in your job. And then it's okay to be a failure. It's okay to be successful. It's not about that. So what I'm saying is that if at all you become successful, very good. Very good. But if you become a failure in that, if you're not able to deliver what you're set out to do, then leave. That is what I'm looking at. See, if I have taken up a job and okay, I've acquired the skills, I have acquired the talent, I have known what to do and all that to do. But after 1 year, I do not update myself. I do not upgrade myself. I don't learn the new things. I become stuck in some place and I become a failure at doing my job perfectly, efficiently. Then I'm a failure. Then if I know that if I'm a failure, I need to leave, I need to step out so that another person who is efficient, more efficient than me, can take my place. That is what I'm looking at. I'm not saying that you will set out becoming a success or you will set out becoming a failure. No, nobody sets out to become a failure. But I'm saying that if at all you think that you're not doing something efficiently as you should be doing, leave. Learn something, upgrade yourself, update yourself, take out your virus, repair yourself and come and do the job. Who's stopping you? Who's stopping you from becoming successful? Nobody is stopping you but yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Yes, Dilip Kumar ji. Sir, you should unmute yourself, sir. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You can listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It is a very nice session and I really appreciate your efforts. One question, normally it is asked to the depressed people to mix up with the other people, go to the function, society and other things. One way, they will not contaminate if they dissociate themselves, but other way they are harming themselves, or as advised by the other people also, they will be aloof and they will keep in themselves separate, keep in a separate room. So they will more depressed. It's not good for them, but maybe good for others because they are not contaminating others. So how to cope up with this situation? Yeah.
As a family member, as a friend, you can send good wishes. You can send good energies, good blessings to that person, whoever is depressed. And for the person who is depressed, they need to work. They need to keep working. Whoever is mentally disturbed or mentally depressed need to work. 24 hours that person needs to work, because only work can really repair a person from depression, from disturbances, mental disturbances. Work. It doesn't matter what kind of work that person wants to do or should be doing. It doesn't matter. But work is the only solution for depression.
And normally the depressed people, they avoid also mixing with the people, mixing with the, going to the function, going to the others, such as sessions. So is it good for them or it is not good for them? If they work alone for themselves only, so may not be good for their health, may not be good for their psychology also. What do you suggest?
It depends from person to person, sir. See, all persons cannot be taken into one umbrella and say that, okay, this is this and this is what they have to do. No, each and every person has a different way of working, has different styles of working, has different situations, has different levels of depression, mental disturbances. So there's no one particular general solution for this. Depends from person to person. As I need to say, they do not have to contaminate others, but they can resolve their issue by working, and the other persons can help them by giving them energies, by sending them good blessings.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Anushri.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, very good session. Thank you so much. So my question is,
Okay.
like feel people's emotions and this thing towards me. So my question is that if we are part of a friend group or a corporate group, and if you can sense that somebody is not liking your presence, but you don't have any ill will towards them, but the rest of the group likes you, and it's and maybe not like you also, but like maybe neutral this thing. So in which case do you think that still we should make ourselves absent, or still go ahead and socialize with the group?
Is there something wrong with you?
Me? No.
No. Right. So as long as there's nothing wrong with you, or if you don't think that you're a failure, or if you don't think that you're inefficient, you should not leave. Okay. See, if I don't like Anushri, whose problem is it?
Yours. Yeah.
It's my problem. It's not yours.
Yeah.
So it is my problem that why I don't like Anushri. Why the hell don't I like Anushri? Why don't I love Anushri? So that is my problem. So don't make everyone's problem as your problem. Only see that is your presence helping others or not. As simple as that. Likes and dislikes are different issue. See, everybody, I can't expect everyone to like me. There are people who dislike me also. But that's okay. I just need to do what I'm supposed to do. I just need to do what I'm meant to do. That's all I do. And if somebody dislikes me, that's their problem. I don't know why they don't like me. Okay, you're unmuted. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, I got your point, but like you said that we may contaminate ourselves, right? Because the auras change when we socialize with somebody, whose energy is not that pure. So, in which case, but sometimes you can avoid also if it's like a social this thing, but in corporate, like if it's a mandatory meeting or something, then we may have to attend also, like, knowing that this person is not having good energy towards you.
So that is when you need to protect your energies. You need to protect your aura. So that is where meditation comes in, where you can protect your energies, you can protect your aura, and not to let anything or anyone contaminate your energies or your aura. So that is how meditation helps you in creating a shield for yourself. It's that, nothing should contaminate me, nothing should move my energies, nothing should disturb my energies. So if you do that, then no matter where you are, you can always protect yourself, your auras or your energies. So that is where meditation comes in.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Yes. All right, friends. If everyone has asked their questions or raised their concerns about this subject. Yes, Shanu.
I just wanted to ask, like the previous speaker said something about the protecting your aura. So is meditation only way to protect, or is there any other method that we can?
Yes, you can use visualization as well. That is not imagination. You can do visualization to protect your auras. So that is one thing that you can practice to protect your energies and fuse your energies with positivity and, protect everything altogether. So visualization is something that you can do apart from meditation.
Okay. And what should the children do?
Children should just meditate. I don't think they are already very pure and very sacred, and they know they're very innocent. So that is how one can do. Okay, sir. Okay, so that is what one can do for protecting their energies, protecting their auras, and just like what we have discussed right now, the visualization technique, that you can send prayers and send good wishes. In the same way, you can visualize that you're protecting your energies, and that is not a hallucination at all. That is for real. So visualization is for real, and you can actually practice the technique in a practical way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Meenakshi ji. Yes, ma'am, you can unmute yourself. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I just want to thank you. It's a very, very good session. It's a very new session also for me. It's a very amazing, and I used to follow some of the but मुझे पता नहीं था कि was it working or not. But now it is clear that yes, I'm doing good. Actually, I am a gynecologist, and I do what I will follow your all of these session. Thank you, ma'am. Just to say thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And yes, the disclaimer would be over here is that we need to use the technique that I've said, only to enlighten, uplift, and transform others, not otherwise. Because yes, if you use it otherwise, then it will create a different types of crisis in our life that we cannot bear to take them in. We just cannot bear to take them in. So we need to use this visualization technique very responsibly, in a very responsible manner, very efficient manner, very transformative manner, to uplift and enlighten others, and not to use otherwise. That's a disclaimer for this situation. Yes. Right. So thank you so much, my dear friends, for being here, for being with us for this session, beautiful session. I will meet you again in the next masterclass, bringing in more and more of my learnings, or what books have told in various books by various authors. So I will bring all that kind of subject to you, so that we can understand it more easily in a very simple manner, and apply it in our life. The major part is the application into our life, whatever knowledge that we have acquired. So thank you so much, my dear friends, for being with me and trying to understand a new subject. It is already on YouTube. It is going live on YouTube. So if you want to listen to it again, it's available on YouTube on PMC Global. So, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you.